Welcome everyone. Now there are a lot of pans that you can use in the kitchen depending upon the type of the material and the make, which depending upon it you can use it for different styles of cooking. So today we will see a small comparison between the two most widely used pans, both in professional as well as a common kitchen, which are nothing but a cast iron pan, and this one is a carbon steel skillet. So we will just do a comparison between a cast iron pan and a carbon steel pan and see what are the major differences. So the first thing to speak about is the make. The process by which both the pans are made is typically different, because the cast iron pan is made using a die cast method, where the metal is poured into a cast and then broken off and cooled down, whereas a carbon steel skillet is made from sheets of steel that are more malleable and pressed down and beaten down to different shapes as the pan is required. So as you can see, this is a single piece with the pan surface as well as a handle, whereas a carbon steel, the pan is the pan surface is different and the handle is riveted. So one of the advantages of using a carbon steel pan is this is a very handy and easy to use in the kitchen, whereas a cast iron pan is a little bit heavier and sturdy, and it's difficult to move around from one place to another or move between one burner to a different burner. This is easy to handle and very lightweight, and since this is made from sheets of metal, the surface of the pan is very smooth, whereas in the cast iron, since it is made from the die cast method, the pan surfaces will be more rough and have multiple pores in it, so it is much more of a raw and rustic kind of feel, whereas the carbon steel skillet will have a smoother surfaces and a smoother pan sides. So this will have a better non-stick surface than that of the cast iron. And the second difference is the weight. As I said, the cast irons is much more difficult to handle than the carbon steel pans. So I think the people who are looking for a lightweight pan but having the same quality as that of cast iron can go for the carbon steel skillets and pans. And the other difference is the durability. So when you say about durability, both pans are very versatile and very sturdy and can last long, depending upon how safely you use the pan. And since this pan is casted, and the cast iron pans are very brittle in nature, so if it falls down on a hard surface, it is easier to fracture and cracks to appear, whereas since this carbon steel pans are made from more malleable as well as flexible steel sheets, it doesn't fracture or cracks. Even if it falls down from your hand to a hard surface, it just stays as it is, not even, it won't budge, not even a little. But the cast iron pans, it is more brittle and it is easier to crack and fracture. And the other difference is the heat retention, and both are having a slight difference in the heat retention properties. The cast iron is very slow to build up the heat, and it is very slow in losing the heat, whereas in carbon steel pans are where it gets heated very quickly and it loses heat much more faster than the cast iron. So the cast iron pans are more good for cooking dishes which require slow heating, and it retains the heat even after you take it out of the stove top. But the carbon steel pans are good for cooking dishes that requires a quick heating, like if you want to do a stir fry vegetables or you want to fry an omelette within few minutes, you can go for the carbon steel pans, because that is very good in heat retention and very quick heating too. That is why if you see mainly in the Chinese kitchen, you can see the woks are mainly made up of carbon steel pans. That because it requires a very quick heating and a very high temperatures for cooking the Chinese dishes, especially the stir fry vegetables as well as the meat. So they go for carbon steel pans rather than the cast iron. So the cast irons are generally used for braising meat, where you need that kind of grill and charred look on the meat surfaces. Whereas for the carbon steel pans, you can go for cooking the fish, because if you cook fish probably in the cast iron pan, there is a good amount of chance that the surface of the fish gets stuck to the pan surfaces, and when you take it out, the flesh just rips it off. Whereas the carbon steel pans, you have a smoother surfaces, and it is easy to acquire a non-stick coating faster than the cast iron, and you can easily cook fishes, any kind of fish, easily, or fry an egg without getting stuck in the pan surfaces. So it depends upon the need of the people, how to use the pans or what material to use in the kitchen. So if you are very much interested in using and no problem in handling the weight of a cast iron, go for it. But if you want the same kind of features, but a good durable and easy handling material in the kitchen, go for the carbon steel pans. So the carbon steel pans will have a separate handle that is riveted, and this is good. You can easily handle, because the handle doesn't gets hotter when you cook it as that of a cast iron, because the cast iron, since it is casted as a single piece, the handle gets hotter, and you need to have some kind of a silicone cover or a cloth to handle the pan. But you don't require that in case of a carbon steel pans, because the handle, it doesn't get hotter as fast as that of cast iron. So these are the major differences that you can have between a cast iron and a carbon steel pan. So depending upon your interest and your usage in the kitchen, go for both of the pans. And I think that this review helps. Thank you.